Hello, 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 Facebook family. Hello, everyone. I hope that you guys are doing well. Listen, I am popping on live. I know that right about now, those of you all who work a 9 to 5, you're probably already off work in your cars or you're getting ready to get off work, and I can appreciate that. But I just had some time just now, right now, so I said, let me just hop on, say hello, and do a check in as I talk a little bit about your fourth quarter checklist. I'm putting together one right now, and that's what really stimulated, or I should say, inspired me. That's the word, to do a short, a short live here on Facebook. Listen, you already know, few more months and this year will be over. So what are your processes that you have in place right now that you rely on? So I know we have a budget for 2019. Where are you? Are you actualizing that budget? Are you over budget, under budget? Where are you concerning your budget? So that's one question. These are just ideas. Like I said, I'm putting together my checklist. I'm making some revisions and changes. And one of the key things that I look at, and I encourage those who I serve, I encourage them to keep an eye on that budget. So, of course, where are we concerning that year budget in fourth quarter? Where are we? Are we on point? Are we over or under budget? And then, are you already in the process? If you haven't done so, are you crafting your 2020 budget? 2020. I remember when I used to say 2020, it seems like so far into the future. And yet, in a few months, we will be entering 2020. And so now is the perfect time. If you haven't already started, now is the time to really craft that budget. What are the things that, looking at 2019, you know you need to have in place for 2020? What about your personal goals? Are you on point concerning your personal development goals as well as your organizational goals? Are you on point? What needs to adjust? You still have time. Many are stressing out because it is fourth quarter. And, if I allow myself, because see, this is my third year being an entrepreneur. And it's different when you run an organization, especially when you walk into an organization that's already established and you are learning what's there as well as trying to figure out what needs to change so that you can keep moving things forward. That's one thing. But when you are still wet behind the ears doing your own thing, and every decision that's being made, it ties to you, right? And if you have a team of people that's working under you or with you, of course, they're involved. But as a solopreneur, the buck starts and stops with you. What are you doing to prepare for your next? So I'm looking at where I am right now today, where I am in comparison to my personal goals and my business goals. And I have to say that from a personal and professional achievement, I am pleased. I have seen growth. I have achieved some things and actually outdid myself in many ways. Financially, I have not been on point. I want to meet and exceed. And so I still have time. I still have some things that I'm working out, but I'm not discouraged. I'm focused. It makes a difference. And I want to plug this in. It has little to do, well, it's not directly tied to having your checklist, but let's face it, having your vision always in the forefront of your mind, knowing your vision. This light, y'all, I'm trying to be professional with the light, and it's causing me to sweat, and it's really bright. The light is bright. Remember, light bright. Okay, I digress. Let me see if I can do a little something with this light. I think that's a little better. Don't feel like it's gonna cause me to sweat. But anyhow, so when you're looking at your fourth quarter, having a vision in the forefront of your mind makes a lot of difference. It helps you overcome your obstacles. I think so. When you have a vision and you know the direction that you need to go, it helps you stay focused, cut through the distractions, right? It really helps you to shake off disappointment. So, yeah, I had some areas where I'm like, oh man, what happened? But overall, I know that I still have time. I need to tweak some areas. I need to really hone in on some other areas and eliminate the excess, right? I'm looking at my setup. I have this little corner that I like to, this is like my favorite nook, and everything's a little askewed. So it's impacting my focus. But nevertheless, I'm going to get this done because I'm going to be brief. So we're talking about, where are you with your goals? Your personal development goals, your personal professional goals. Are you on point? What needs to happen before this year ends so that you can be a better performing leader, and so that you are helping your team better perform? And that goes for your organizational goals. How frequently do you review your goals with your team? How often do you go over the vision of the organization with your team? Communication, which is another thing that I have listed on my checklist. Communication is one of the top 3, and I think I've shared this with you guys once before, one of the top 3 issues and frustrations that leaders deal with. They are frustrated because they feel as though their teams don't communicate well to them. And it goes both ways. Their teams are frustrated because they feel like they're not getting enough, they're not getting a clear understanding of what the expectation of the leader is. So we have this dual issue. Hello, thank you for joining. We have this dual issue of how to better communicate. That's a very real issue. So, do you have a communications plan? Do you have a communications plan? That's something to think about if you don't. That makes a huge difference. And as a matter of fact, do you have a strategic plan? I've talked about this as well, maybe in the last video. I'm not 100% sure, but I want to reiterate that having a strategic plan is critical. So one of the things that I can say was not very difficult for me in transferring or transitioning into a solopreneur. It wasn't difficult to have certain plans and certain structure and systems in place because I was accustomed to having them. And having a strategic plan is critical for your organization. It's critical for you personally. So it doesn't matter if you are a solopreneur, if you have 150 people working for you, or you have multiple locations. Having a strategic plan helps you to stay focused on that vision, because that plan is going to have the vision written out. Within that plan, there should be several other plans. Some people actually have a separate business plan within their strategic plan. So that's one, having your strategic plan. And within that plan, having a communications plan, having a business plan, your marketing plan, a leadership development plan, having a succession plan. Now, those were 6 items. And that's in addition to a secure, which probably should have been number 1, having your financial plan. And we're talking financial planning for your organization. So and that's just 7. But there are other plans that many people have in place. I also encourage organizations, especially if you embrace corporate social responsibility principles. That is one of your primary strategic and sustainability plans that you can have. And if you need help in any one of these areas, but corporate social responsibility, which falls under sustainability, if you need an SOS plan, a sustainability operating system plan of action, I'm your girl for that. I can help you craft a strong sustainability plan. So, and that's 9. That would be nine pieces, 9 components of a very solid strategic plan. So it's one thing to have it, but then the next question is, do you look at it? Are you familiar with it? Are you implementing the various objectives? Are you meeting those objectives? Is there execution of the plan? Doesn't make sense to have it and you can't use it, or because it's antiquated, or you don't use it because you can't find it. So thank you for the thumbs up. So that's something that I want to encourage you to do. Start now, 4th quarter, reviewing everything that matters most as you close out the year and plan to close out this year. Review your budget. Are you over budget? Are you on point? Are you under budget? What are the expenditures that you have yet to expend? Where are you with those line items? What adjustments need to be made in 4th quarter? Where are you with your personal goals, your personal development, as well as your organizational development goals? It pretty much means the same. Are you on point, or are you in need of making adjustments so that you can finish strong? Do you have a strategic plan in place? Are you using that plan? And what are the components of your strategic plan? I listed 9. I said that financial, which really should be your number 1 plan, having a strong financial plan for your organization is critical. You want to also have your business plan. You want to have a marketing plan, a communications plan. You want to look at having a leadership development plan, sustainability plan. Let's see. Did I say marketing? Communications, marketing plan. There are several components to having a very comprehensive strategic plan. Now, you don't need to have a big dictionary, right? Or a big encyclopedia. The goal is not to just have this humongous notebook full of stuff that you need to do, because that's exhausting trying to go through it. If you have the right systems in place, you will know where you are. You will frequently review your strategic plan. A succession plan is something else that you should be thinking about. Where are you on the totem pole? Are you looking to leave your organization? Are you looking to start your own business? Are you looking to retire anytime soon? Where are you as the leader on this pole, on this totem pole? And then, is there a succession plan in place, and who's in the pipeline? Is there a pipeline plan? Yes, which should be part of the leadership development plan. Your retention plan, all of those, there are other elements. And the goal is not to overwhelm you with a bunch of plans you should have. But this is something to think about as you are in the 4th quarter. Some of us don't have a lot of plans at all. Do you know where your strategic plan is, if you have one? So another thing to be thinking about, what are your themes for 2020? What are some of the themes? And depending on your organization, there are some consistent themes that you have in place. What am I talking about? Some people have seasonal themes. You know what? I got all these devices. I knew that was going to happen. Can you see me okay? My MacBook does not allow me to plug in my new, remember I shared with you guys I have this new ring light system here. So it's not compatible with my MacBook Pro. MacBook is overrated. But nevertheless, so I have an old computer that is compatible with this USB plug, but as you can see, it's more than a notion. But I think it's important that I get my act together. I think it's important to have this light, let there be, so that you can see and that I can see you. Let there be light. So, enough about all of the different plans. I just wanted to put it out there. If you're not thinking about the different components of a plan, it's important to do that, especially in fourth quarter. Pay attention to the adjustments that you should be making in this season. Another thing that I want to encourage you to do, because I already know, I've received some feedback. Some of you all are in panic mode. And I'm not trying to contribute to the panic. I want you to take a deep breath and think about where you are right now and where you want to be in the next few months. That's really what this whole checklist is about. There are plans and systems that you should have in place, and if you don't, it's okay. Pay attention to where you are now. What do you have in your hands? What do you have right now? And is what you have, there we go, working? Is it working for you? Is it netting the income and revenue that you desire? What you have now, are your other leaders, are your team, your employees, are they encouraged? Are they satisfied with where they are with you as their leader? Are you getting feedback? Do you encourage that feedback? Are you an encourager? How do you build up your team? How do you keep them engaged? So those are other things to be looking at when we're checking off and moving forward with fourth quarter and making preparation for 2020. So I was talking about themes for the following year. And again, many times organizations already have themes in place. There were certain things that we used to do in one of my organizations that I worked for. Every quarter, there was one big, campaign that we focused on. And that was some big theme. And I don't, it varies. But my question now about asking for themes for 2020 is because everything has a cost factor. And are you ready for it? Do you have your RFPs in place for entertainment, for people to come in, third-party consultants and trainers? And, do you have everything in place that you can think of to help make these themes successful, campaigns successful? Do you have a fundraising plan? I know I said I wasn't going to talk about any more plans, but it made me think about the fundraising theme. Anyway, I'm going to move on from there. But these are some of the things that I want you to begin to think about now in September so that by December, you're breathing even more deeply. Because you can say, you know what? Some of the things that I wasn't even thinking about in September, I started to think about. And I'm making necessary adjustments so that a year from now, we'll have more of these plans in place. We'll have stronger systems and a better structure for implementing these different plans, okay? So, self-leadership. It requires that self-discipline, self-management, emotional IQ, right? Emotional quotient, right? Are you emotionally strong? And then what are you doing about those barriers that's hindering you from performing well? Because you may have all these plans in place and still not be performing well. And a lot of that has to do with the confidence, the courage to do and implement what needs to be done. So you may have your plan, you may be executing, but this is the thing. I don't know who started this do it afraid concept, but every time you operate from a place of fear, that means that there's some doubt, there's some kind of barrier. And it's great if you can overcome that barrier by becoming strong, right? But if you come from a place of weakness and you try to do something that needs to get done, you put yourself at a disadvantage. You put yourself at a disadvantage. So one of the things that I did with my mastermind group, and we had a wonderful 8 weeks. Actually, we did about 10 sessions. We made up for a session that we didn't have. I think I shared with you guys that we were off by one session. Well, we well made up for it. And so I want to say we put in about 10 hours or more in this mastermind group. And it was great. A very nice, intimate group of powerful women. And one of the things that I had the group do is a SWOT analysis. Taking a look at your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and threats on themselves. Not so much in their organizations, but on themselves. And one of the main benefits of doing a SWOT analysis is self-awareness, right? Because now you're fully aware, you've put it on paper, you've thought about it, and you've written all of your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats. And now you're in a stronger position, you're in a better position to make change for your own personal growth more effectively. When you are able to take your weaknesses and turn them into strengths because you're doing what you need to do to be better so that those weaknesses are a threat to you, then when you move forward, you are coming from a place of strength. If you only come from a place of weakness, and often that happens, where you are pressured to make a decision and you aren't confident in what you're deciding on, you're putting yourself, it's a threat. You put yourself, potentially your organization and other people at risk. Think about it. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail because I said I was going to be brief, but there are more disadvantages of being and thinking and operating from a place of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Yes, I'm talking about the FUDs. It's more to your disadvantage than it is to your advantage. So operating from fear, I strongly discourage you. Address the fear, acknowledge the fear, and then dismantle it. That's something else. When we're talking about self-leadership, it has a lot to do with self-awareness, self-control, being disciplined. I don't enjoy that word a lot, but it is necessary because you want to be effective, and then you want to take your team and help them to be effective and achieve some of the things that they need to achieve. And do you have the confidence, self-efficacy? Are you confident that you're going to accomplish what you set out to accomplish? So this is a brief overview of taking the temperature in terms of where you are right now as you delve into the fourth quarter. Do you have things in place? Do you have access to capital? Do you have access to people? People capital is one of the most valuable forms of capital that you could ever have. Access to people. Do you have access? Do you have your tools? What's part of your leadership arsenal? Do you have tools in place? So, a couple of things. I want to encourage you, if you are not part of my email list, please join our email list. One of the things that we do, I send out newsletters on a regular basis, and I do some blogs, but it's all to help develop you as a leader. So I believe the information is quite informative. The other thing is I just launched a few weeks ago, and I want to talk a little bit more about the leadership group coaching that's coming up. I'm looking to start in October. So I launched it a few weeks ago, but I'm looking to start the group coaching program in October. So this is the Get Ready to Get Real. Get Ready to Get Real group coaching program. And it's a little different than all of the other programs that I've done. But this time is really focused on helping executive women. Yes, I'm still working with the women right now. But it's really to help develop their skill sets in certain areas, to address some of the top 10. So this is a 10-week program. We're going to tackle top 10 challenges that women in leadership face. We're going to have workbooks and audios and downloads, digital downloads, videos. This is going to be a phenomenal program. And we're going to meet at least once a week. At least for an hour, once a week. This is a very intensive program. But the outcomes are going to be so tremendous. The outcomes are going to be so tremendous. Just working with some of my other, groups, I've gotten incredible feedback. It makes a difference when you are working together. Because when you are alone, you may or may not have anyone, or you may not even hold yourself very accountable. But when you are in a group setting, the accountability rises, and reaching the goals that you set for yourself increases as well. But in this coaching program, we're going to really hone in on some of the main things that hold us back. Hello, thank you for joining. That hold us back as leaders. So I already posted on my page more information about this group coaching program. So all you have to do is click the link, and you'll see the Are You Ready to Get Real newsletter that I sent out earlier this morning to some of my email people, some of my people that are on my email list. So I'm done. I have a feeling that I was still too long, but I'm done. I'm done for today. This is Dr. E. Michelle Mickens. I am the CEO of Live for Change. Live for Change is a Christian-oriented leadership development program, leadership development company. My main focus, I don't know why I said program, because I have underneath the umbrella of Live for Change is the Be For Real leadership series. And within that Be For Real leadership series, so REAL is an acronym for Reliable, Ethical, Authentic Learner. Reliable, Ethical, Authentic Learner. So within that entire series, I provide consulting, coaching. I also have workbooks. I have training programs. I have a lot of workshops that I do customized for my clients. And the overall goal is to help an emerging or an established leader move from where they are to where they desire to be for themselves and their organizations. So I'm not sure why I'm stammering. I think I'm really excited, and I'm trying to maintain my cool. But this program, this executive leadership coaching program, has your name on it. It's time. It's time. If you're not where you want to be in its fourth quarter, what are you going to do different before the year is out? So we're talking 10 weeks with a team of incredible people that have similar issues, similar challenges, but we're going to break through those barriers so that we can finish strong, right? No more excuses. No more excuses. I'm in it with you, but we're going to get it done. We are going to get things done. So anyway, please be encouraged. Reach out to me. You can email me on my page. All the information is there. Take advantage of it. Be blessed. Take care.